Hello, Maria. So welcome to the bi-weekly meeting that we have, the live stream. Hello to the amazing audience that we have. So some things are meant to don't happen on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, but you can spread the frequency that you do things on a monthly basis or bi-weekly or quarterly basis. It doesn't need to be every week. You need to find the rhythm that suits best. So it's nice to be back. So 2 weeks are away, and today's topic is setting boundaries.
Yeah.
The reason why I chose this topic is because I'm reading a book from Robert Fisher, The Conversation, let me be. I'm sorry for, so the next conversation, now you see it vice versa, I know, because you have to...
you can mirror your camera if you want to.
You can, yes, you need to have a reverse view to be able to read it, but I hope you understand it, to have a mirror view. So Robert Fisher writes in the next conversation, it's a whole chapter about setting boundaries, but that's also a topic that I wanted to discuss with you, because I think it's a crucial element when in our personal lives and in our professional lives.
Agreed.
And why I'm saying that, and let me go directly to the point of importance for me as a salesperson.
Yeah.
Because if you are a salesperson, that you have a whatever it takes mentality, and every time you hear a no, you see it also the way I showed you the book, you see the no as a go on, then that cancels you setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
That means that how far are you going to go in order to achieve your goal, in order to do a sale? How far are you going to go?
What are you going to sacrifice, you mean?
Yes. So not every sale can happen. Not every sale can happen. And if you don't set boundaries, that shows disrespect to the hearing party of you. So if somebody tells you, I had once a client, right? And he wanted to buy my products and he wanted to negotiate the price. And he pushed me in that extent, because this guy was also very smart. He put me the money on the table, it was not just talk, it was like cash on the table here, but I want that much. But I said, no, listen, no, I will not do it. Thank you. Nice to meet you. And I wanted to leave. And he said, no, come back. I was joking. I wanted just to test you. But there are other salespeople that start with the price with 100, and then you negotiate to 50, you negotiate to 20, you negotiate to 10. And at the end, if he agrees on that low price, that tells that the initial offer
was not worth it.
Was not he tried to take advantage of you.
I think there's something else also. Is like, if you then accept that really low offer, you're going to resent him. You're not going to be happy about doing the job because you're doing it not at the point that you want to be paid, right? So you get, even if you let him push your boundaries and you go accept, even though you've accepted it, you're not happy about it. You're going to be annoyed by the client. You're probably not going to do a very good job because you're not happy. You're going to be upset with yourself because you let them push you. So it's, having weak boundaries can really create a lot of resentment and even burnout if you do that a lot.
Resentment, burnout, and you will not be respected from the other party if you don't have boundaries. From the other side, you should not go too far with the boundaries, because there are also people that they are extreme. I'm setting, these are my boundaries, but your boundaries, they are impossible. You need to live like a playroom, but a boundary should be, primarily, you should know prior to a conversation, to a relationship, to a sales, I don't know, deal, prior of this communication with another party, what are your boundaries?
Yeah, I think that's very important. I have a lot of clients who actually don't have any boundaries. And when
Yes.
you talk about, they're like, I'm burnt out, I'm upset, I'm exhausted, I'm frustrated, I'm upset with, my partner, I'm upset with my client, or this. It's like, well, have you set any boundaries with these people? Have you told them that you don't want to be doing? And they're like, no. And so it's our responsibility to set boundaries for ourselves and then communicate them, right?
But from the side of the one that is on the other side of the negotiation, let's say, because on what you say, for example, when I hire somebody, they have a price, right? Okay, obviously I have also a price on my mind, but I feel I can push the price down. Now the question is, do I want that?
Mm.
Because I feel, I sense he will accept the price. But do I want him to accept that price that actually he's not happy?
Especially if it's an employee. Do you want an employee to start working for you feeling that he's being cheated or that he's not being valued by his employer?
Exactly. And not being happy, because you have also, regardless if you um, retreat, let's say, on your boundaries and you go back, the relationship afterwards, it's a relationship that is going to be a problematic relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it starts on a bad foot.
Yes.
So,
So
how do you set your boundaries, Alex?
if you are not prepared to say no, you have nothing to negotiate. So you have to negotiate something because you are willing also to say no. And if you've been raised on an attitude of no, everything, if you take the blame for every success or every failure in your life, failure is part of the game. You will fail.
Mm-hmm.
So once you set boundaries, you will fail. So, but a business, it's a business that it's a transaction that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have a business. And that is what I see in many young people. Yes, I found that work. Oh, yes, that those are very good people. No, you didn't find a work. No, those are not very good people. It came too easy. So a good negotiation and good work, it's a difficult one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one that goes uh, through many obstacles to take place.
Mm-hmm.
What comes easy come, easy go, right? Um, so yes, you need to put the boundaries. I very often saw people with no experience, due to the ego that they have, to set too high boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a mistake. Okay, but there should be like, obviously you want to negotiate, obviously you want to start a negotiation from something higher. So when you start negotiating and you want to sell something at 80 euros, let's say, you don't start with 81 euros. You start with, let's say, 100 euros, so that you can lower that to 80 euros. But there should be 80 euros.
Yeah.
Okay, what happens if somebody gives you a very good offer, but he pays 79 euros? Are you going to accept it?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no, you should not accept it. So you need to fine tune it. It's a process, right? It needs experience.
Yeah. I think in business and in life in general, I think too, there's some negotiable and there's some non-negotiable boundaries, I think. And it's about identifying which are which, right? And there's some things that are non-negotiable because they're important to you, to your health, to your personal life or to your security. There's things that are not negotiable, and then there's things, as you said, where you have to be a little bit more flexible, and that might be in a business situation where there has to be some compromise and some flexibility in a negotiation. It's not the same sort of boundaries as when you need to create boundaries to protect your health or to protect your family or something like that. So I think it's about boundaries can cover a lot of different things. And I think it's about being clear about what it means and being clear with yourself about which are the ones that are important to you and which are the ones that you can be a bit more flexible around.
Yes, flexibility is required, but you need to set boundaries in your personal life and as an extension also to your professional life.
And it's not been, I think a lot of the people I work with who struggle with boundaries are often because they feel like I don't want to be perceived as someone who's not friendly, not there to help, or or not helpful. And I mean, it's not been not kind to say no to people. It's not been unkind. It's and there's ways of saying no also and setting those boundaries. But a lot of people don't set them because they're afraid to upset others, and because of that, they're putting themselves in a situation where they are unhappy. And I think that's a big issue, and I think young people struggle with that a lot.
But you touch a point because we had a discussion in the past about if do women like nice guys, and you said yes, they like nice guys, and I agree, but I think there's a misunderstanding of what is a nice guy. So there is often the perception that a nice person is the person that it's always agreeable.
Yeah. No.
It doesn't exactly. So you need to be relaxed and take conscious decisions and say yes because you want to say yes, not because you have guilt feelings, or you feel you've been forced to say just to be nice and polite.
Yeah.
So by saying no doesn't mean that you are not nice. Quite the contrary. If you choose, if you can say no, then your yes has a value.
Yeah, that's very true.
If you say just yes because you cannot say no, that doesn't make you a nice person. The contrary.
Yeah.
It's the contrary. You are a weak person. So, because a nice, the kindness is on choosing something, not on not wanting something.
Yeah.
On not uh, uh, having the choice not to do otherwise.
Yeah. And I think one thing that really helped me, learn how to say no, especially at work, is understanding that when you say yes to something to somebody else, you're saying no to something that might be important to you. So you're having to maybe give up. So maybe you'll say yes to, meeting with someone to have a coffee to talk about their career or something, and maybe while you're doing that, you're going to have to give up. You're going to lose time, and you're not going to be able to go and do something that was really important for you. So I think understanding that every time that you say yes to something else, you're saying no to another thing, and it's about prioritizing those two things. And I think that helped me a lot, reframing it in my mind, saying not just I'm being nice to this person, but oh, wait a second, if I say yes to them, then I can't do this, or I won't have the time to do that. And what is most important for me? And also then there's different ways of saying no to people. No is not always a definite no. It could be just not now. I'd love to help you. It's just not convenient for me this week. Let's do it next week. Or I can't help you with this, but I can, direct you to someone who can. So there's also a way of saying no. It doesn't always have to be no, go away, I don't want to see you. It can be no, and this is what I can do maybe to help you, and if I can't be the person to help you.
And there are two things here that we need to be very careful. So if you say one time yes, then it's expected that next time you will say yes. And next time things are going to be even worse.
Yeah, it's very hard afterwards then to
exactly
negate, to come back on what you've already conceded.
you need to set up the standards since the beginning.
Yeah.
Because if you lower the standard immediately,
Yeah.
then it's going to be expected for you to lower it also the next time, and then you are the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And typically it's like working with a new client. If you're going to be working with new clients, super important to set boundaries around what they can expect from you, when they can expect to, communicate with you, when they can expect to get answers from you, what are the expectations around the delivery, how you're going to be communicating, how you guys are going to be working together. And, what are the things that are not okay. Like if you have a contract with them that you're going to be meeting every Monday, and that's the time where you're going to be working together. They can't start calling you on Thursday and Friday for an hour to talk about the stuff if that hasn't been agreed in your scope of work. But I know some people that really struggle with saying no to clients because they're like, oh, well, it's just one call, I'll help him. But the problem is it opens a door to the next call and the following week, and it starts again, and then,
Absolutely.
other things. And being explicit about, if you want to make an exception, say, okay, I'll make an exception, but this is not part of the contract, or this is not what we agreed. Or just say no. Unfortunately, if you want us to have extra conversations or meetings, it's going to be additional to your contract. And I think it's really important to do that, because it's for yourself to respect yourself, for the other person, as you said early on, to respect you, and yeah, to be able to not feel bad about the work you're doing with this client, or feel resentful towards the client because you feel like they're taking advantage of you or something.
It's also a cultural thing, Maria, because
Yes.
what I see, and let me say, I feel like, because I'm Greek and I come from a country that is not so developed, let's say, in many aspects, I face that with many Asian clients. So the expectations, there's always with Asian clients the following: promise me that. Can you promise me? And me not promising, it's not giving the opportunity and the authority to them to push me. Because if I promise, then I will be a subject of you promised us and your results are X and you promised that. So, but again, it's a boundary thing. But I think it's also, I feel it's, I mean, I don't know if they are doing that necessarily purposely or because unconsciously it's part of their culture. But you set the tone right. So I'd rather have no clients like that where, I mean, how can you promise something? It's like you are a doctor and you make a heart surgery to somebody and you're going to tell him, listen, the survival is 90%, but there's always a factor that can go wrong. So how can you promise? But what is your opinion? What do you think that is the key element that is going to make you facilitate, uh, make it easier for you to set boundaries? I would like to hear your opinion. What do you think is the main factor that is going to help somebody that is nice and educated and civilized and, I don't know, to set boundaries?
It's awareness, because a lot of these people don't even realize that that's their problem. I have a few examples in mind where they were struggling, but they didn't realize that it was because they weren't setting boundaries. They were upset, they were frustrated, they were resenting these people, they were resenting themselves, they were feeling miserable, but they didn't understand that all this, there was stuff that was in their control that they could have done, that they could have set these boundaries to be able to not feel that way. And I think self-awareness is the first thing. It's being aware that there is a part, it's not them being mean to you, or it's not people taking advantage. It's you not setting the boundaries. It's you not, deciding that these are the things you're not going to accept, and these are the things that you're going to, give as set as expectations for any interaction with you. and communicating it to these people, because people can't read your mind also. And so I think it starts with self-awareness, being aware that there is something you're not doing that's creating this situation that's making you unhappy and that's stressing you out. And then understanding, taking the steps to set those boundaries, and then communicating those boundaries to others.
So, yes, I agree with what you say. Awareness, it's a key word. What I realized, what helped me a lot, set the boundaries and communicate the boundaries better, was my experience that I had through mindfulness. And so my advice would be, the more emotional loaded you are, the less easy it's going to be for you to set your boundaries properly. So be aware of yourself. Understand that you are not your emotions and your feelings. Relax and ask yourself, do I want to do that or not? And if the answer is no, you simply say, no, I will not do that. So if the other person is offended by that, you cannot control other people's emotions. You can control yourself, and you are responsible to yourself. And you expect also your as long as the expectations that you have from other people are the same expectations that you have from yourself, there is no moral issue on that. So you don't try to take advantage. You expect also the other person to say no if he doesn't feel it's something that he would like to do.
I think, to your point, the emotional load, I think it's very hard for people who've not grown up setting boundaries to learn as adults to set boundaries. It's really, really hard.
Yes.
And my advice is get help. Get somebody, either a family member, a coach, a psychotherapist, somebody. If you're really struggling with that, get somebody to help you with it, because it's really hard on your own to learn a new skill that you've never if you've never used it growing up, right? And some people grow up in abusive families and things, and these people really struggle to set boundaries. And so, yeah, my advice is, you don't have to do it alone. It's like everything. I don't believe you can do anything alone. Go and ask for help. Find somebody who can support you, advise you, guide you, give you some frameworks or some exercises or things like that to learn how to set boundaries. And it's like everything, it's a muscle. You have to practice it.
Absolutely.
Start with something small, start with a little boundary, not the huge boundary that's really freaking you out. Start with little boundaries, like one little thing that really annoys you that you like to change, and little step by little step, when you see the first thing working, you can try the others. So it's a process. I don't think overnight you can go from somebody who has no boundaries to somebody who has loads of boundaries. It's a process.
Yes. But it's very much. I see, because of my German mother, I see all this German education of to be agreeable and to always be nice, even if that's not.
I think it's a generational thing, because my mom's like that also.
Maybe it's generational.
I think it's generational. My mom would never. She's learning now. She's in her 80s and she's learning how to set boundaries.
Yes, but it's generational. It's also cultural, because
maybe.
I was down here, so in the street, and there was a little girl, and she wanted to have a fruit. It's a tree here that has some fruits, okay? And she was looking up to the tree, and she tells me, the girl was like 6 or 7, and I'm 56 now, so we have a big difference of age. She tells me this. My Spanish is not very good, but she tells me, "Hey, amigo, ayúdame." So she tells amigo to me.
Yeah.
And I tell this story to the boyfriend of my daughter. He's a German guy in his 30s, And he said, well, that's very bad education for her to talk to you like that.
Yeah.
For me, to me, that girl, I'm telling you, when she's 20, she's going to be the best paid salesperson.
You're going to hire her.
Because if from now she doesn't have
She has
no,
a confidence. Yeah, she has a
she
confidence.
has so confidence, the way she speaks, okay, you need to shape her a little bit
Yeah,
to,
she's 6 years old.
yes, but I saw the way that she didn't have this, she wasn't ashamed, she wasn't, I like that. I found it bravo, very good. So because she's going to have also that energy and that mentality when she grows up, and that's nice. It's fine. It's missing.
Yeah, I think that's another one. Social boundaries. Boundaries that are set on you by society. By your environment, the people you live with, the culture, your religion,
Yes,
all these
yes,
different things. And so those are an extra set of boundaries that are that are pressured by the people around you, and yeah, you can choose or not to follow them, and yeah, it's complicated.
it's
I
complicated.
think as you get older, I mean, at least I can talk for me. I think as you get older, you learn to set better boundaries. You learn to prioritize yourself over prioritizing everybody else, which I think lots as women we are brought up to always put everybody else first, and I think that's something that it takes time to unlearn. And but yeah, I think as you get older, you realize all these things, and you realize also that saying no is not a bad thing, and saying no is not being unkind, and
Exactly.
setting yours and people's expectations is actually helpful for people, because then they know where they stand. And I prefer to know exactly where I'm going, rather than being wondering, like, what is this person thinking, what she want me to do. So I think, yeah,
So where do we want to conclude? We want to conclude that yes,
boundaries are good.
set solid boundaries.
Boundaries, yeah,
Don't exaggerate on
yeah,
things. So have a space where people things are negotiable. Let's say are more have like a flexibility. Don't go like
yeah. It's understanding which are the non-negotiables, and what are
exactly
the ones that are
the
flexible.
non-negotiables.
Yeah,
But leave also a space for communication, openness, and errors to happen, and make our life as humans somehow easier. To don't be too much strict. It's not good.
yeah. And it's communication. I think boundaries is all about communication again. It goes down to speaking to people and telling them, like, if you fail to set boundaries and now you're upset, nothing stops you going back and saying, you know what, actually this is not working, I'd like to do it differently. It's just people are sometimes afraid to communicate.
Yes, and you should not be afraid to communicate, and should not be afraid to say no.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Very good. Your no's give value to your yeses.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maria. It
Thank
was
you, Alex. See you
great
in a
talking to
couple of
you.
weeks.
Thank you.
Bye.